Hello everyone, and welcome to the Elementary Math Tutor. Today we're going to be learning how to add whole numbers within word problems. Now to begin, I am going to read this word problem at least 2 to 3 times. It's highly recommended that you read it at least 2 to 3 times, and I'll show you why. So right first, I'm just going to read it through. Camilla packed 455 kilograms of belongings into a moving truck. In addition, she packed 92 kilograms into her car. How many kilograms did she pack in all? I'm going to read it a second time, but this time I'm going to underline the question that it's asking me. Camilla packed 450 kilograms of belongings into a moving truck. In addition, she packed 92 kilograms into her car. How many kilograms did she pack in all? Now notice I underline the question. How many kilograms did she pack in all? So that tells me what we need to do. We need to find out how many there are in all. And that's a key phrase right there, in all. So I'm going to circle that because that basically means total. Okay. So I'm going to read it one more time, but this time I'm also going to circle any keywords that are going to help me understand what I need to do and any numbers that I need to use in my calculations. Camilla packed 455 kilograms of belongings into a moving truck. In addition, she packed 92 kilograms into her car. How many kilograms did she pack in all? Notice I circled in addition. That tells me what I'm going to be adding. And I circled the numbers that I'm going to have to add together. 455 and 92. So let me set this up. 455. I'm going to add that to 92. Now in my other lesson where I just added whole numbers, I showed you a couple strategies you could use if you have difficulty adding multi-digit numbers. Let me go with the first strategy I showed you. The first strategy, you have to know the place value of these numbers. So for example, this column right here where the 4 is, it's all by itself. I know the 4, if I know my place value, the 4 is worth 400. And if there was another number in that column under the 4, I would add that to the 400, but there isn't, so it's just 400. Now the next column over, I have a 5 and I have a 9. Okay, so the 5 is in the tens place, so that means it equals 50. The 9 is in the tens place, so that means it equals 90. So I'm going to add them together. 5 plus 9 is 14. So I have 140 there. And finally, I'm going to look at the last column all the way to the right over here. And I have a 5 and a 2. So I'm just going to add the 5 plus the 2. And that equals 7. Then I would take these numbers and add them together. 400 plus 140 plus 7. So let me put the 140 underneath the 400. And add that first. And when I do, that equals 540. And then I'll just add the 7 to that. So my final answer would be 547. Okay, so that's one strategy. And obviously the other strategy is just to add them, which I'm going to show you in the next example. Okay, so here's my second example. And I'm just going to add this in the traditional manner this time. So it says, Miko counted 536 gulls on the lake. That night, a flock of 47 geese joined them. How many birds in total were on the lake? Now I'm going to read it through and underline my question. Miko counted 536 gulls on the lake. That night, a flock of 47 geese joined them. How many birds in total were on the lake? So now I need to find the total amount. There's the keyword right there, total. So that's going to be an addition problem. Now I'm going to read it one more time, but I'm also going to circle keywords to help me and any numbers I know I'm going to have to use in my calculations. So Miko counted 536 gulls on the lake. That night, a flock of 47 joined them. How many birds in total were on the lake? Now, when something joins something, I know I basically am adding them together. So that's what I'm going to have to do with these two numbers. So let's start with 536. And we're going to add that to 47. Now I'm using the traditional method of addition here. So let's begin from the right-hand side. We have 6 plus 7 is 13. So you put 3 under there, and you're going to carry that 1 to the next column. And then we'll start with the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay? Nothing to carry over. And then 5 is all by itself because there's nothing underneath. So there is 563 birds in total. So let's try one more example before we end this lesson. All right, now let's look at our final example. So it says Dylan decided to open a comic book store, so he purchased 316 comic books. Later, he bought 487 more. How many comic books does Dylan have in total? Let's read it again, and then I'm going to underline the question. Dylan decided to open a comic book store, so he purchased 316 comic books. Later, he bought 487 more. How many comic books does Dylan have in total? Okay, so I'm going to do a final reading, and I'm also going to circle any key words that are going to help me decide how to answer this problem, and any numbers I believe I'm going to need. Dylan decided to open a comic book store, so he purchased 316 comic books. Later, he bought 487 more. How many comic books does Dylan have in total? So the key words I circled were purchased, which when you purchase, you'll gain something. He bought, again, gain something. More. How many more? So that basically is telling me I need to add. And total. How many in total? And usually that means we're going to add. So when I put this together, obviously, we have to add these whole numbers together. So let's line them up. I have 316 and 487. What I choose to do is place my higher numbers on the top and my lower numbers on the bottom. So I have 487 plus 316. Let's add this in the traditional manner. 7 plus 6 is 13, so I write 3 underneath and I carry that 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. That 0 goes underneath and I carry that 1 again. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 3 is 8. There's my 8. Okay, so Dylan has 803 comic books in total. Okay. All right. So there you have it. That's how you add whole numbers within word problems. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, follow, like, and if it's on YouTube, subscribe. If you have any questions, place them in the comments section, and I'll try to answer them as quick as I can. All right, thanks. Bye.